Let's start with the most obvious example. The ones that look like ghosts. There's a creature called the glass squid. It swims at depths between 200 and 1,000 meters. The twilight zone. And if you saw one, your first thought would probably be, where's the rest of it? This squid is so transparent that you can see its eyes, its digestive system, and even its last meal floating inside. But its body, almost invisible. It's like looking through glass. So why would evolution create something so fragile-looking? Something that seems to have no substance. Here's what scientists have discovered. In the deep sea, there are two kinds of light. There's the sunlight that filters down from above. And then there's bioluminescence, light created by living creatures. If you're a predator swimming below your prey, you're looking up. And against that faint sunlight from the surface, every creature looks like a dark silhouette. So how do you hide when you're swimming in open water with nowhere to hide? You don't become dark. You don't become camouflaged. You become nothing. Transparency is the ultimate invisibility cloak. The glass squid isn't half finished. It traded color, muscle mass, and everything that would make it solid for one single thing: the ability to vanish. Comb jellies do the same thing. They look like aliens, like something from a movie that forgot to render properly. But they're not missing anything. They're perfect exactly as they are. They just evolved for a world where being seen means being eaten. According to marine biologists, nearly 50% of deep-sea animals are partially transparent. It's not a design flaw. It's a survival strategy. Then there are the ones with eyes that make them look like cartoons. Let me introduce you to the barreleye fish. This thing looks like a joke. Its head is completely transparent, and inside that clear head, two glowing green eyes rotate like camera lenses, pointing upward through its own skull. If you saw this for the first time, you'd laugh. You'd say, who designed this? Why the eyes inside its head? Why can it see through its own forehead? But here's what's actually happening. At 800 meters down, light is almost gone. But not completely. There's still a tiny amount filtering from the surface. Just enough to create shadows. Just enough to see something moving above you. If your eyes are on the sides of your head like a normal fish, you're looking sideways, not up. And up is where the food is. So evolution did something strange. It moved the eyes inside the head, and it made the skull transparent. So the fish can look up without moving its body, without making a sound, without creating any vibration that might alert prey. The deep-sea hatchetfish takes a similar approach. Its eyes point upward. Always. It can't even look forward. It swims through the world staring at the ceiling, waiting for a shadow to cross its vision. And when it sees one, it strikes. To us, these eyes look wrong. Too big. Pointing the wrong way. Inside a transparent head. But to these creatures, our eyes would look useless. What good are forward-facing eyes in a world where everything interesting comes from above? The barreleye fish was first discovered in 1939, but scientists didn't understand its transparent head until 2009, when technology finally allowed them to study it alive. For 70 years, we thought it was strange. We didn't realize it was genius. And then there are the ones that don't even bother with faces. Let's talk about the giant tubeworm, Riftia pachyptula. It grows over 2 meters long. It lives near hydrothermal vents, where water temperatures can reach 400 degrees Celsius. And the water is thick with toxic chemicals, like hydrogen sulfide. And it has no mouth, no stomach, no digestive system at all. Nothing to eat with, nothing to digest with. It looks like a pile of tubes, like plumbing, like something that forgot to become an animal. So how does it eat? It doesn't. Not in the way we understand eating. Instead, it hosts billions of bacteria inside its body. Special bacteria that can take those toxic chemicals from the vent and turn them into sugar. The worm provides the bacteria a home. The bacteria provide the worm food. It's not a predator. It's not a grazer. It's a living farm. Or look at the sea pig. It scuttles across the abyssal plain on tiny tube feet, vacuuming up mud and digesting the tiny bits of organic matter inside. It has no real face, just a mouth surrounded by tentacles. It looks like a child's drawing of an animal. The kind of thing a 5-year-old would sketch and call it a day. But here's the thing about the deep sea. Faces are expensive. Eyes are expensive. Jaws are expensive. Jaws are expensive. Muscles are expensive. Everything costs energy. And energy is almost impossible to find. So evolution does something remarkable. It strips away everything that isn't absolutely necessary. Think about shallow water for a moment. It's like a luxury resort. There's food everywhere. There's sunlight. There's warmth. Animals can afford to have complicated bodies. They can afford bright colors and powerful muscles and elaborate faces. But the deep sea is a survival bunker. You don't get extras here. You get only what you need to survive. And if you don't need a face, you lose the face. Scientists call this extreme specialization. I call it knowing what matters. And then we get to the ones that look like mistakes. The ones that seem to have invested everything in one body part and forgotten the rest. Take the gulper eel, also called the pelican eel. Its body is long and thin, but its mouth is enormous, huge, like a pelican's beak attached to a snake. When it feeds, that mouth opens wide enough to swallow something much larger than itself. Its body is basically just a long tail attached to an enormous jaw. It looks like someone drew a mouth and then ran out of paper. So what's the strategy here? In the deep sea, meals are random. You never know when you'll find food. And when you do find it, you need to be able to eat it, even if it's bigger than you. The gulper eel evolved the ultimate solution, a mouth that can become a cage. It doesn't need strong muscles to chase prey. It doesn't need speed. It just needs to be in the right place at the right time and open wide. Then there's the dragonfish. It's small, black, and has teeth so long they don't fit inside its mouth. They curve outward, past its own face, like something from a nightmare. Those teeth are transparent, too. Invisible. So prey never sees them until it's too late. And that light on its chin, that's not for seeing. That's for lying. It flashes and flickers, mimicking smaller prey, tricking hungry fish to swim closer. And when they do, the cage closes. These animals don't look half-finished to themselves. They look perfectly adapted. We think they're missing things because we're comparing them to fish we know. But the deep sea doesn't care about our expectations. And finally, we have to talk about the anglerfish. Not because of its light, not because of its teeth, but because of something stranger. The male deep-sea anglerfish is born with one purpose. One single purpose. Find a female. And when he finds her, he bites her. And then he never lets go. Over time, his body fuses to hers. Their blood vessels connect. He loses his eyes. He loses his digestive system. He loses almost everything that made him a fish, until he's just a pair of testes attached to her side, supplying sperm whenever she needs it. He becomes a permanent passenger, a living sperm bank, a piece of flesh that used to be a fish. Now ask yourself this question. Is the male anglerfish half-finished, or is he exactly as finished as he needs to be? This is the uncomfortable truth about the deep sea. We look at these creatures, and we see incompleteness. We see things that stopped evolving too soon. But they're not incomplete. They're specialized. They've taken evolution to its logical extreme. They've stripped away everything unnecessary until only the essential remains. A glass squid doesn't need color. A barreleye doesn't need to look forward. A tubeworm doesn't need a face. A gulper eel doesn't need a body to match its mouth. And a male anglerfish doesn't need to be a fish at all. They're not half-finished. They're finished differently. They're the product of a world that doesn't follow our rules. A world where being strange is the only way to survive. And here's the thing that keeps scientists awake at night. We've explored less than 5% of the deep sea. 5%. According to a 2023 report in Science magazine, scientists estimate there could be anywhere between 500,000 and 2 million species living in the deep sea that we have UN discovered yet. And every time we send a submersible down, we find something that challenges what we thought we knew. A few years ago, researchers from the Schmidt Ocean Institute off the coast of Chile found a whole forest of deep-sea corals. Animals that looked like something from another planet. Some were transparent. Some had tentacles where their faces should be. Some looked like they were built from spare parts. And just last month, National Geographic published a story about a new species of deep-sea jellyfish found in the Mariana Trench. It had no tentacles at all. Just 4 fleshy arms and a bell so thin you could see through it. A jellyfish that forgot to be a jellyfish. So why do deep-sea creatures look half-finished? The short answer is, they don't. Not to themselves. Not to the world they live in. They look exactly as finished as 500 million years of evolution has taught them to be. The only thing half-finished here is our understanding.